We'll see if HyuN tries to deviate from any other builds, but yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Why would he deviate from any other builds?
Like, for example, like he's the Roach King, but on this map, I think Speedlings are really, really good.
True.
Because
especially in these positions. I mean, Speedling into Muta or Mutiling Bane could be extremely powerful in cross positions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
No, go on, please. No, please, no, Taylor.
Well, first we need to introduce the players, Cats.
Why don't you do that then?
Okay, so spawning in the top right position of Lairlight Crest, we have the Red Zerg player up 2-0. Can you close out the series? It is HyuN.
Down 2-0, and in the left bottom hand corner of the map, it is Jinner Greenwing's Cure.
Pretty much said the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, red, blue, left, right, top, bottom.
Yeah, red and blue are not actually complete opposites.
No,
Green
but I mean, like, when you
red.
think red and blue, it's like the colors of, like, competing, like, red and blue. Like, red versus blue.
For sure,
yeah,
for sure, yeah.
But we see...
I'm just saying, like, technically...
Yeah, technically
green,
it's... Yes,
green is the opposite of red.
But I'm just saying, like, red and blue are, like, this, like, I guess would be the 1v1 standard colors, like...
MLG.
MLG, yeah.
NBA.
I think that's... Yeah, that's where... I guess that's where it comes from.
Halo, Rocket League.
Is it?
Blue versus orange makes a lot more sense because they are actually... Yeah.
I always pick orange. And, like, if I can pick custom colors.
Isn't that, like, more colorblind friendly as well?
Probably because they're complete opposites as opposed to red and blue, which are not complete opposites.
But whenever I pick custom colors, I always pick orange for some reason.
I like yellow.
I always go purple.
Cool.
No one likes red and blue. Except for HyuN and Kira. Are we making them go in red and blue, or?
No.
No,
people can pick whatever they
Oh, yeah. At least they didn't go like purple, blue, or light blue, dark blue kind of stuff, and a mirror matchup. That would have been...
People used to get really mad at me when I would play as purple, as Zerg. That's not fair.
Yeah. Because we have creep, and creep is purple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I mean, I play purple as every race.
Yeah. So, pretty standard openers here. Very quick link speed for HyuN.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can get that quick speed, get the map control. The watchtower is really, like, it's essentially in cross positions. The watchtower is the best thing to have because you pretty much will just take that middle of the map and then you have overlords on the dead airspace and then the other bases just to see any drops coming in by.
Yeah, the Reaper's trying to poke in at HyuN's base but not really accomplishing anything. Is going to have to just back. A little bit wounded.
Now, Kier will scout the lack of a third right now, and he's got to be a little worried about that.
I mean, it's not you know, HyuN doesn't need to take a third, especially until he gets the link speed. That's pretty much what the link speed allows you to do. So usually the Zerg players won't have a third up until that point, or shouldn't be able to get a third, right? Because the Reaper should be able to deny the third links the entire time. So. We'll see where he decides to take that third. Cure checking for the third one more time, and HyuN should be about to take it as link speed is about to finish.
Now, taking a third, do you think he's going to lean more towards Mutiling Bing? And as I say that, he's going to prove me wrong, absolutely, and go into Roach.
He doesn't necessarily have to stay on Roaches, though. He is adding 2 additional gases, and I think that Mutiling Bane could be an option here. But it is HyuN. It could be just defensive Roaches. But, yeah, you don't know. I mean, at this point... Yeah, the Roach Warren's timed so that it's great, for example, against Hellbat pushes. It's going to just help defend against any sort of aggression from Cure here, who is, by the way, going for a Banshee. So metagaming HyuN potentially just a little bit. He's saying, you are the Roach.
Oh, nice trap by HyuN, though. Trapping that Hellion for a brief second.
Yeah, but not able to capitalize on it because the Lynx were not around and the Queens were a little bit off position.
Gets 1 worker kill, so really good defense.
Pretty good defense indeed. That wasn't a huge commitment by Cure either, though. So, yeah, we'll see. An additional 4 Hellions, and these guys are going to be looking to deny the creep and maybe run in if Cure decides to go for a backstab with the Banshee. So we'll see about that. The cloak is almost done, and HyuN is getting blind spores. Again, I've always advocated for scouting and then reacting in pretty much every matchup. But I really don't mind blind spores in CVT simply because...
Cloak Banshee is a big snowball effect.
I mean, not just Cloak Banshee, but the Terran always has something.
Yeah, whether it's a drop or...
Whether it's a drop, Widow Mines, Liberators, they always will have something.
They always will.
Well, almost always. I'm just gonna sigh, Taylor. Why don't you just commentate?
Alright, well, Cure, like I said before, he's holding that middle watchtower. It will give him almost like he'll see almost any incoming attacks from HyuN. But he's got to assume, taking a third base, and not the mass amount of roaches, and there are speedlings, that it might be mutiling Bailing. There's no Bailing nest, of course, but he's got to assume that there might be a Spire coming in. But he's going to go in. The Banshee gets... It got 1 kill, so it didn't really do much. And he's continuing. He has 2 Banshees, and he's just going to go into that bio-tank style. Tanks, not that great on this map. I mean, they're essential. There are some key places that you can take advantage of them. If you get to the Zerg space, it's really good because there's this whole like ramp between the main to the natural to the third, where you can pretty much just use the ramp as an elevation.
The position that we were seeing on camera, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But that position is going to be extremely hard to siege when the Zerg is taking this base. So that type of tactic happens more in top to bottom type situations, because the Zerg will take the other third, as opposed to this one. When this third is taken, that tactic is almost out of the question, because if they're sieging that area, that means they already killed your third and you've already probably lost the game.
Yeah. So Passage of Glands actually coming up, and what's the Ravager count? There's no Ravagers. So Roach, Infestor, maybe he's just getting the Passage of Glands defensively, and he's going to go into a hive. But
no, he's just getting the Pathogen Glands a little bit faster so that he can produce the Infestors before the Ravagers. That way they will gather as much energy as possible, and then he'll probably add the Ravagers after that.
Okay. What if we see the 4 Infestor hit squad?
I mean, it's always possible, but there's no Burrow or... I guess there's Overlord drop on the way. I really doubt that we would see all 4 Infestors used, but I wouldn't mind 2 Infestors getting loaded into an Overlord and fungaling an entire mineral line at some point. Probably not going to happen. And actually, he is going for the extremely quick hive, like you said, Taylor. So he could be going for really quick ultras. Yeah, not sure how much I like this. I think he's still going to have to go for Ravagers. But there might be a timing for Cure here to try and exploit, especially after he sees those Infestors popping up just now.
Yeah, he's going to try to deny this 4th base. He's got to be careful, though, because those Infestors actually have a fungal on them, so he doesn't want to commit into it. And, this is the problem with this Ravager Infestor style defensively, is that you can't really commit to a fight without the fear of getting fungled. And they can just get into that super quick hive and get into Ultras. And then when Ultras come out, it makes it really hard as a Terran player having to deal with them, just because there's only 2 realistic options, the Liberator and the Ghost, and we'll have to see what option Cure goes for. Sorry.
I think that both is probably the best way to go about it, and tanks and mass can be pretty good against Ultras as well if you have a spread that goes far enough and you can utilize, for example, cliffs and whatnot. But HyuN already has pretty good creep spread on top of that cliff. That's going to make it so much harder for Cure to utilize this position that he's headed towards. And HyuN is actually the one moving out on the map with a great fungal. Will he be able to capitalize? Kind of. Gets pretty decent corrosive bounce, but maybe not what he was hoping for. He was probably hoping to take all the medevacs down with them. So again, and this is one of the issues with going for as quick a hive as HyuN went, right? Because he doesn't have the gas to make additional Ravagers or additional units in general. Yeah. And right now he's making an Ultra Cavern, but I don't think it's gonna be popping out in time. I think that this timing by Cure is extremely powerful. It's taking advantage of the fact that HyuN is... Oh, but that's a lot of Ravagers out of nowhere. Is this enough? A fungal here could be fantastic, but he misses it. And with that, I think that Cure should be able to come out ahead. I don't know. It's gonna be really close.
It is.
Reinforcements are now arriving, and with the Lynx, he will definitely be able to push this back, as Marauders are awful against Lynx. And HyuN, with a brilliant hold, will be able to push Cure back here, who is in dire straits right now, fighting for his life. I mean, Ultras will be popping up soon. Now, Cure is going for a heavy Marauder production, as opposed to, say, what Beyond was doing recently in the GSL, because Beyond really likes a lot of Marines.
Yeah.
Where Cure is much more Marauder heavy, so he will have a pseudo answer to Ultralisk, but not ideal. Like you were mentioning, you want Liberators, you want Ghosts. or tanks in great numbers.
Marauders don't really hurt Ultralisk as much.
Yeah, and there's an additional 4 Infestors having to be produced, otherwise HyuN is not going to be able to capitalize on the Ultralisks offensively because they can get kited forever out of creep.
A fungal.
However, once he gets... Oh, and that's a great fungal, but only 2 Ravager shots. And it seems like Cure has just a little bit too much. Wow.
Yeah,
I was not expecting
I think Ultras did come into the play. Oh, I thought he was making Ultras.
No, he's having to make Roaches, and he didn't want to make Roaches. I think he wasn't expecting a follow-up attack. With this many links, he might be able to push this back, but he's already lost his 4th. However, the Ultralisk Cavern is done. He's not able to produce anything off of it because he needs every unit that he can make right now, and Ultras take a while to get out.
I think Cure might have barely just...
No, it looks like he doesn't have enough. So he'll have to pick up Indeed and leave, or just... No? Okay, there we go. So, yeah.
But yeah, losing his 4th, Cure taking his own 4th. I mean, Kindness Palladians coming in
huge
play.
Supply advantage for Cure. So the only advantage that HyuN has is really the tech advantage right now in having tier 3 and Ultra is about to pop up. But he's not even able to produce any Ultras right now because Cure continues to pile on the pressure and basically saying if you're making Ultras right now, that's money that you don't have in your army and you're not going to have it for a while until they pop up. So again, continuing the pressure, like you said, he is taking a 4th base and he's adding an extra starport most likely for Liberators as well as 3-3. So Cure is doing everything that he needs to be doing. Liberators already in play. Great fungal followed by great corrosive piles are going to take a lot of that army, but let's not forget those Liberators require 3 corrosive piles each themselves, the tanks as well. So he just simply doesn't have enough Ravagers to deal with this right now. 2 Ultras in production, but I don't think they will be popping out in time. The natural goes down, and with this, it looks like Cure will be narrowing the gap and potentially winning this game. A really nice flank from HyuN, however, is going to be able to clear out all the tanks and one of the Liberators, but it's just simply not going to be enough.
Nope. Losing that 4th was a pretty big deal, and the armor is actually, GG. Like, he had Kindness Plating, but he was still on, I didn't even check the upgrades, I think he was only on 2-2, so the Ultras...
1-1 versus 2-2.
Okay.
1-1 for Zerg.
Oh, okay, so the armor wasn't even that big of a deal. He wasn't at, like, that max 8 armor where Terran players, we always think, like, the Ultras will never die. So, if they're, like, at 5 armor, if you have tanks and Marauders, they actually do help do some kind of damage to the Ultralisk.
I really like Tank Marauder Liberator like he was doing here. I think that's pretty effective, but many Liberators is one of the better ways to deal with Ultras. They kill Ultras really fast.
Yeah, you don't even need upgrades for it.